I had to get some help. It was just a little too tight in there, and I didn't have the torque to get that nail through the wood. But it looks great. Let me show you. I have to touch up a few places because it got nicked from the hammering, but I feel like it looks a whole lot more finished than it did before.
Well, the paint matches too.
Yeah, it just looks really nice. And now it'll be a place where we can put loose bags, pillows, really anything lightweight, and it'll be able to just stay back there and stay put, and it won't come flopping out whenever we drive. So we thought that once we figured out how to do one door, our troubles and our learning curve would be over, and it would be smooth sailing from there. As an aside, but it relates to what I'm about to say, I will link the hardware that we bought off of Amazon in the description in case you're interested in doing something like this. But
it's a really good design. Yeah,
it's a good design, but we went with the budget brand, and there are a few different companies out there that make this same design, but they get more and more and more expensive. So we went with something that we knew would be okay, and I guess we should have known that that meant there was a good chance we would run into some hiccups, just because that's the way it goes. Well, the screws that this hardware comes with they're really cheap.
They're the cheapest zinc-plated screws you could ever imagine.
So if you decide to go with this particular brand, caveat emptor, just know that you probably need to spend the money on some decent hardware. Like, just go and buy it. Don't expect to use what's in here, because we've already had a bunch of screws snap, and we have spent a very tense, what do you think, last hour?
Yeah, 30 minutes.
Trying to figure out how to make it work, because once you drill the hole through the cabinet door, it's not like you can like take it back and start over. And we had screws snapping off around the hole that we drilled. So it took this little screw and it just snapped it right off. And it's not like Stuart was going as fast as he could to drill it in, or like using a ton of torque. So anyway, we're moving along, but I do want to make sure that I say that, because that could really ruin somebody's day. And I feel like it's just so unnecessary, but that's what you get when you don't buy the most expensive thing out there.
Yeah,
So it took us a whole day to figure out the hardware and work around things breaking that shouldn't have broken, and realizing that we needed certain tools that we didn't have. I knew that that was how it was going to go, just because that just seems to be the way it works. Whenever you do DIY stuff, inevitably you're going to run into hiccups and hit road bumps, and that's okay. We made progress. We still have a little ways to go, but my fingers are crossed that tomorrow is going to go a little bit more smoothly, since now we know that A, we need to watch out for the screws breaking, and then B, we have most everything that we should need. So like I said, I will link the hardware that we're using in the description if you're interested in doing something like that or something similar that'll at least get you on the right track. But like I said, if you buy from that particular company, be aware that the screws are super cheap. It's typical China product. So just be aware of that and be prepared to go and buy your own hardware. But this wraps up the first day, and all in all, it feels good to be working on projects again. I really enjoy doing this kind of thing, even with the hiccups and everything, especially because when you get to the end and you look at your final product, it usually ends up being worth it, and I know it's going to be worth it this time too. So we'll pick it up again tomorrow and keep on trucking and get her done.